Today's video is something different, a moment away from the chaos of politics, away from the noise of parliament, away from the daily drama. Because today we get to talk about something simple, something human, and something beautiful. Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, has just gotten married, the first Australian PM ever to do so while in office. And in one of the warmest diplomatic gestures of the year, Mark Carney and his wife, Diana Fox Carney, were among the first to congratulate the newlyweds. But this story isn't just about a wedding. It's about friendship, unity, and the quiet strength of two countries that share more than people realize.
It's a wedding that's made Australian history. Our Prime Minister marrying Jodie Hayden in a low-key ceremony this afternoon in Canberra. Anthony Albanese becoming the first PM to marry while in office and the first to marry at the Lodge.
Love in the Lodge. The Prime Minister marries Jodie Hayden in a small ceremony this afternoon. The Lodge has seen many things in its 98 years, but never this.
Before getting into the full details of the wedding, let's begin with the part that matters most to us here in Canada. The moment Prime Minister Mark Carney and his wife, Diana Fox Carney, publicly congratulated the couple. Carney wrote a beautiful, simple message. "Congratulations, Albo. Diana and I send all best wishes." Short, warm, and genuine. What stood out was not the formality, but the humanity. Carney didn't issue a stiff diplomatic statement or a carefully worded press note. Instead, he spoke like a friend, congratulating another friend. And Diana Fox Carney's inclusion made the message feel even more personal. It was not just Canada to Australia, it was family to family. There's something refreshing about political leaders showing heartfelt emotion, showing kindness beyond politics, and recognizing the joy in each other's lives. Carney's message captured exactly that. It also subtly reflects the growing connection between the Carney family and the Albanese-Hayden family, a relationship built on mutual respect, calm leadership, and shared values. Now let's step into the heart of the story, the wedding itself. Anthony Albanese made history by becoming the first Australian Prime Minister ever to marry while in office. And he did so at the Lodge, a place with 98 years of political history, but not a single wedding until today. This wasn't a grand political event. It was intimate, soft, beautifully personal. Family, close friends, and a few cabinet colleagues arrived with small gifts and envelopes, creating an atmosphere that felt more like a family celebration than a national headline. Their relationship is equally heartwarming. They didn't meet at a summit or through political circles. They met at a business dinner in 2019. A simple, genuine connection that grew during life's most meaningful moments, traveling, healing, supporting one another during hospital stays, and standing by each other through the pressures of public office. Albanese proposed on Valentine's Day, and today that promise became a reality. Their dog, Toto, stole the show as the ring bearer. That one detail alone reminds us that even world leaders cherish the small, joyful moments that make a family. This wasn't just a political milestone. It was a story of love, resilience, and companionship. A reminder that behind every title is a human being with a heart and a home. This simple exchange of congratulations highlights something bigger: the natural, easy, long-standing bond between Canada and Australia. These two nations are more alike than most people realize. Both are democracies with shared histories, shared values, and shared responsibilities on the world stage. Both balance massive landmass with modest population. Both have deep cultures of fairness, humor, and social stability. Canada and Australia have long worked side by side on some of the world's most important issues, from global security and peacekeeping to trade diversification and climate action. They routinely coordinate on Asia-Pacific strategy, economic stability, and international diplomacy, often finding themselves aligned not because they have to be, but because their priorities naturally overlap. Their cooperation is steady, instinctive, and rooted in decades of shared values. But beyond the government cooperation, the people-to-people connection is even stronger. There's a natural comfort between Canadians and Australians, the kind of connection where conversations feel easy, humor aligns perfectly, and values overlap almost instinctively. So Carney's message wasn't just polite protocol, it was the warm expression of a relationship between two nations that genuinely like and trust each other. Now let's zoom into the personal dynamic between the two leaders. Mark Carney and Anthony Albanese lead in different styles, represent different political histories, and come from different professional backgrounds. But both share a leadership philosophy grounded in calm, steadiness, and long-term vision. They've both governed through global instability. They've both faced economic pressure, shifting alliances, and rising geopolitical uncertainty. And they've both built reputations as thoughtful, measured leaders who avoid theatrics and deliver results. Carney brings a background shaped by international markets, financial institutions, and global diplomacy. Albanese brings a background rooted in working-class activism, community leadership, and national politics. Two different paths, one shared understanding. Through summits, bilateral meetings, and shared global challenges, a quiet respect has grown between them. Carney's message to Albanese wasn't the message of a detached diplomat. It was the message of someone who appreciates the journey another leader has walked. Their connection shows that political alliances aren't just built on treaties, they're often built on personal respect between the people making the decisions. Of course, with any moment of joy, especially one involving a public figure, the negativity wasn't far behind. A small group of online trolls tried to overshadow this beautiful occasion, questioning everything from the timing of the wedding to whether a sitting prime minister should marry while in office. And yes, some even stooped low enough to make jokes about the prime minister's age, as if love somehow has an expiry date. But here's the truth we often forget. Leaders aren't symbols. They're human beings. They carry burdens most of us will never have to face, and they rarely get the space to simply live their lives without judgment. Anthony Albanese has spent decades in public service, decades of pressure, scrutiny, and sacrifice. If he finds love later in life, that should be celebrated, not mocked. Relationships aren't measured by age. They're measured by kindness, mutual respect, and the ability to build something meaningful together. And everything about this wedding pointed to exactly that. The criticism about the event being inappropriate or ill-timed also misses the point. The ceremony was small, private, and held with dignity. And even then, it was kept discreet partly because of reported security concerns. This was not extravagance. This was not indulgence. This was a personal moment handled with care. The negativity tells us more about the critics than it does about the couple. Because at the end of the day, love is love, whether it happens at 25 or 55, whether it unfolds quietly at home, or, in this case, at the lodge. And if anything, a leader finding joy and companionship helps them lead with more empathy, more strength, and more balance. Moments like this remind us that behind the title, Prime Minister is simply a person, someone with a heart, a family, and a right to happiness. And no amount of online trolling can take that away. And so, as the world celebrates the newly married couple, we join in the celebration. To Anthony Albanese and Jodie Hayden, we extend warm, heartfelt Canadian wishes for a future filled with happiness, strength, and peace. Leadership is exhausting. Public life is demanding. The burden is constant. But moments like this, moments of love and partnership, give leaders the resilience they need. May this new chapter bring them joy beyond politics, comfort beyond the public spotlight, and a shared foundation that helps them navigate the difficult days ahead. And for us here in Canada, it's a beautiful reminder that even during turbulent political times, love stories still break through the noise. Today's moment wasn't about policies or polls, it was about humanity. If you enjoyed this softer, more human story today, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to see more lighthearted videos like this on Canada Today, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support truly keeps this channel going.